Alrighty, guys, it's that time. It's Sunday. We got the double espresso on deck. You know what that means. It's time to break down some stocks as we have an interesting week coming up here. We do have Thanksgiving on Thursday, so the market is going to be closed, and Friday we have a half day. The market closes at 1 p.m. East Coast time, but we still have a lot of companies, stocks to keep an eye on this week as well. Earnings season is still going. We have 7 companies to cover, all of which are reporting earnings. We're going to go over their charts, the estimates for EPS, revenue, what I'm looking to do, and we'll break down the indices, which, guys, newsflash, we had a pretty good day on Friday, and the crypto market right now, which is, it's kind of a leading indicator, over the weekend, the crypto market looks pretty good. Bitcoin's hitting 87, 88K as I'm making this video after hitting 80K flat on Friday. Think about that, guys. So we're going to break down a bunch. Hit the like button, subscribe, join the Patreon for my Discord, portfolio updates, chart breakdowns throughout the week. All of that is linked down below. And with that being said, cheers, guys. Let's get into it. Let's dive into it as, again, we have a big week coming up. It's a short week, but it's a big week. So SPY as of now, QQQ as well, pretty much all these indices, they're in this downtrending channel on the 1-hour chart. I want to focus mostly on SPY and QQQ for this video. You're seeing that on SPY and QQQ, and you're noticing that, yeah, we're in this downtrending channel, but as of Friday, we had a pretty good green day. Friday, I think QQQ went up, 0.75%. SPY went up about 1%, give or take, and you're noticing, again, we're bouncing off the bottom of this channel, starting to move towards the top of it, and this would be the breakout spot. Obviously, whenever QQQ SPY breaks out of this channel, right, my alerts are set, ready to go. I have one at 625. I might as well put another one a bit lower than that. We'll put one at 605. So if we're able to get out of these points, guys, start to confirm the break of this channel, yeah, the bulls are going to be awakened at that point, if you will, and we could be going a lot higher. And wait a second, did Thinkorswim really just freeze on me? You got to be kidding me, guys. What's going on here? Come on. Oh, my gosh. No way did this just freeze on me right now. Come on. All right, I think we're back. All right, we're back. All right. So that saved me an edit there. I would have had to go and edit this video. We're back though. We're back. SPY is starting this, starting to bounce off the bottom of the channel. Same thing. I'm gonna set my alert at 670. If that's able to get out of there, I'm telling you guys, this trend could start to break the downtrend, and we might be going back up. But there's a lot going on. It's not just, the charts that we have to look at. We have to look at what's moving the market, the fundamentals, what's going on here. And there's a lot overhanging the market right now, especially heading into December, as the rate cut is really what the market's looking at now, focusing on. Well, one of the things the market's focusing on, will we get this rate cut in December? And it was a lock a couple months ago or weeks ago, and now it's more of a 50-50 coin toss. So I think, guys, if we actually get the rate cut, since it's so up in the air now, the market's going to run like crazy if we get it. Heck, we might run into the rate cut decision if the odds of us getting a rate cut increase, right, heading into that decision. But now it's pretty much 50-50. We'll see how it goes. So, guys, let's jump into the stocks now that I'm looking at here, as we just broke down the indices, covered kind of what to watch out for on the charts. Zoom, ticker ZM. Do you guys remember Zoom? Yeah, they're this week, I think on Monday. They're tomorrow after the bell, the 24th of November. Zoom's reporting earnings. And this stock, guys, what's going on with it? Let's see. Actually, it looks pretty good on the 4-hour chart. The chart looks phenomenal, actually. Wait a second here. We might be onto something. Zoom is clearly uptrending. We're in this channel that I'm trying to draw out. There we go. You guys see it. Now we're more towards the bottom of this channel, which is quite interesting here. So we're actually pretty oversold heading into earnings on ZM. And again, they're tomorrow after the bell, and analysts have them doing EPS of $1.44 versus $1.38 from last year on revenue of $1.21 billion versus $1.18 billion from last year. That would be up a whopping 3% year over year. So yeah, the growth Zoom once had is not there, at least as of now. And you guys know, I mean, look, this stock was in a bubble back in 2020 for obvious reasons. You guys remember that. No need to go too deep into that. And we hit $600 almost, which is nuts. And now we're obviously a lot lower. Will we ever get back to 600? I highly doubt it. The stock was way overvalued. The multiples at that point were insane, right? So now the stock's re-rated, right? It's found a new base over the last couple of years, and that's what you have to realize, right? When stocks are in a bubble, we're in an interesting time period in time, which we were during 2020, working from home. These types of stocks that benefit during those times, they might get insanely overvalued. And again, now they're back to earth, and they might never get back to where they once were because those multiples were nuts. And at this point, it doesn't have that same growth. So, and the narrative's not the same. The sentiment, the story's completely different. So you can't really value it the same you were a couple years ago, but it's still definitely a stock worth watching here with earnings, and in the short term it is beaten up. So when you're looking at Zoom, you have to look at it through 2025, this year's lens. You have to look at it through 2025, 2026 lens, a lens from this year, not from 2020. If you're looking at this stock like it's 2020 still, it's not the same, right? So you have to kind of adjust to where we are, and if you do that, it actually looks interesting. The chart looks phenomenal. We're oversold $10 from not all-time highs, but recent highs. So I'm eyeing it up here. Let's see how earnings look. Alibaba is another one that I'm watching. They're trading at $152 a share. The stock was at $190 back in early October, so we're down 21% from that high. Earnings are on, let's see, the 25th. That's Tuesday in the morning. So Alibaba has come up a long way over the last couple of months, and you guys probably remember I used to own this stock a couple years ago, and I got out of it. I lost some money. You guys know how these Chinese stocks investments go. I was like, oh my God, Alibaba is so undervalued here, which, I mean, technically it was, but the fact that it's a Chinese company, you don't actually own the stock, blah, 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 that adds so much risk to it. To where traditional valuation, models or ways to value stocks, it doesn't apply here because of the fact that the insane added risk of it being a Chinese company. You don't actually own the shares, blah, blah, blah. You guys know all about that. But hey, now Alibaba is finally coming back. But hey, I'm still not going to touch it, to be honest. But we're going to watch it either way. Earnings are on, again, Tuesday morning. EPS estimate is $5.76 versus $15 roughly from last year on revenue of $243 billion versus $236 billion from last year, up 2.8%. So the growth at Alibaba is gone. They're barely growing. 2.8%, and I'm not sure. 243 billion. Yeah, that's got to be converted to US dollars. So that is insane, right? The sheer volume of revenue they're doing, it's ridiculous. But yeah, they're down $40 from highs, and again, the fact that they're a Chinese company. Not that I have anything against China, but it's a stock that I'm not interested in. I'm not interested really in investing in Chinese stocks. Personally, man, I kind of made that rule for myself 3 years ago when I got out of Alibaba. I was like, what am I doing? Why am I investing in Chinese stocks, CCP? What the heck am I doing, right? And I got out of it, and I'm not going back. But either way, ANF is another one. Number 3, Abercrombie and Fitch, which, my goodness, guys, this stock went ballistic. A couple of years ago, like 2, 3 years ago, it was a $20 stock. It went all the way to 200, and now we're back to 70. So we're kind of coming back to earth a little bit. I haven't been keeping too much of a pulse on the story here with ANF, but I'm sure they're struggling with China tariffs. I mean, that's definitely affecting this business. I could tell you that without even looking into it, right? I mean, look, the stock's down from $105 back in August. Now we're at $70. We're heading into these earnings on Tuesday in the morning, down a whopping 35-40% from that high. So ANF, the EPS estimate is $2.16 versus $2.50 from last year on revenue of $1.28 billion versus $1.21 billion from last year. That would be up about 5.8% year over year. Not bad, but obviously growth has slowed down tremendously at ANF, and the descending triangle worries me a bit. If you guys take a look here on the 4-hour, we have a clear descending triangle. We have lower highs being made ever since early August into the support of about $65-70, which if that breaks, it's slowly starting to break. But if we really take 65 out, I think we could be going lower. So be careful with ANF. Mark is at or below 65 is where I'm setting my alert. So if we get under there, we might be slipping even more. So NIO, another Chinese company, guys, is reporting earnings this week. NIO is the ticker, and they're on Tuesday morning. And the funny thing about NIO, guys, is I used to own this stock, I swear to God, 6-7 years ago when they first went public. When was that again? I'm forgetting now. Yeah, 2018. I legitimately... I don't know if anybody remembers, because, I mean, it's been years, so I don't know if anybody still watches, or I don't know if anybody remembers that. I used to watch back then, but listen, I bought NIO stock. I think I had like a $3-4 cost basis. I'm not even kidding. NIO was... It was $1 stock before the pandemic. So this is before 2020. We're talking years ago now. So it's crazy how time flies. But I bought NIO in this $2 range, dollar range, $3, $4, $5 range. I remember I had a cost basis of $3-4, and the stock ripped to $67 a share. Now, did I hold that entire way up 2,000%? I did not. But I did make a good profit on NIO. I remember, man, hundreds of percent, but I forget exactly. Again, it was years ago. But yeah, whenever I think of NIO, that's what I think of. And now I'm looking at it, I'm like, wow, it's pretty much right back down. So yeah, you guys remember that, electric vehicle craze, now that we're seeing all these AI stocks go up, right? It was electric vehicles 5-6 years ago. So if you're in the market, as you're in the market for years, right, you see these trends, you see these waves, these cycles. That it happens, right, with different themes, right? They play out, and it's fun to watch. And of course, from that time, a lot of these EVs have collapsed. The demand's come down. Sure, there's still, EVs are still a thing, right? But a lot of these stocks have collapsed, and NIO's one of them. But NIO's still projected to grow. EPS estimate, they're going to lose $1.57 versus $2.14 from last year on revenue of, let's see, $22.29 billion is the estimate versus $18.6 from last year. So they're going to grow 20% year over year. Not bad. But the fact that the stock is back to where it was, where I owned it 6-7 years ago is nuts. It's nuts, honestly. So yeah, I'm not looking to buy back into NIO by any means. Again, I'm not a big fan of these Chinese stocks now. I made money with NIO, lost money with Baba. I'm good, I'm good. But I'm watching it, keeping my eyes on it, and that's not to say I won't trade it. Sure, I'll trade NIO, get in and out of it for a swing trade, but would I buy it and hold it long term? Yeah, not happening. Not happening for me at least, guys. Dell is another one for this week. By the way, guys, hit the like button. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't done so already. Follow along for more content and check out the Patreon if you want to keep up with my portfolio updates, the Discord, my charts, and ideas throughout the week. Have more one-on-one access with me. All of that's linked down below, pinned in the comments as well. So Dell is looking pretty interesting. We're down from 170 to 123. As we all know, stocks are pulling back, 26% drawdown there, and we're actually right by the lows from the summer. We hit about 120 over the summer. That's where we're at now. And EPS, the analysts have them doing $2.48 versus $2.15 from last year on revenue of $27.29 billion versus $24.37 billion from last year. That would be up, 12% year over year. Not bad for Dell, guys. Not bad for Dell. And again, the chart looks interesting. It's holding on for dear life, right above 120. And here on the 3-year chart, which I'm monitoring, what is this, guys? This is an inverse head and shoulders, right? Clear as day. We're right at the neckline right now. If earnings come in hot, Dell could see a nice rebound. It really could. So DELL is number 5 here. Number 6 is Deere and Company, also known as John Deere, right? Ticker D. This one also, we're noticing an inverse head and shoulders right off the bat. I'm seeing that the second I pull the chart up. We can see the left shoulder, the head, the right shoulder, golden cross. We're above these moving averages. We have a cup and handle as well here, approaching a multi-week resistance at about, where is this? 485, 490. So look, man, if this cup and handle plays out, this inverse head and shoulders plays out on good earnings, I'm hoping, right? Hey, DE could be going a lot higher towards the 515, 530 mark. That's where we could be going. We have earnings on Wednesday in the morning, the 26th, and analysts have them doing 383 EPS versus 455 from last year on revenue of 9.81 billion versus 9.28 billion from last year. That's up about 6% year over year. So I'm going to set my alert at let's do 490 on DE. Let's do 490 and we'll see if it's able to get out of there. And now we have BBY, which is Best Buy, another one for this week. The last stock for the list. They're on Tuesday morning, and this chart actually looks pretty good, guys. Best Buy's chart is one of the better ones on the list today. We can see we do have an uptrend. Clearly, we're in this channel, and we're confirming a bounce off of the bottom of the channel here at a higher low. You're seeing that, guys, which is phenomenal. And now we're pretty much wrestling right at that 180 SMA on the 4-hour, which we got hit at, I believe, on Friday. So if we're able to clean cut break above, let's say, $78 per share, this I think could be going a lot higher, maybe mid-high 80s. Top of the channel here, but it all comes down to earnings, man. All comes down to earnings on Tuesday morning. EPS estimate is $1.31 versus $1.26 from last year on revenue of $9.59 billion versus $9.45 billion. That would be up 1.5% year over year. Not much at all, guys. Best Buy, they're not going to be growing much, but that doesn't mean the stock can't break out. So my alerts are set on all these stocks. $78 on Best Buy. Keep your eyes on it, guys. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the video. We're about 20 minutes in this thing, and yeah, it might be time to wrap it up. If you enjoyed it, hit the like button, subscribe. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Any stocks you want me to talk about, let me know in the comments, guys. And join that Patreon. I'm telling you, if you want to keep up and see kind of how I'm building a portfolio during this pullback in the market, because look, guys, I'm putting in a lot of money. This is the time to buy the dip. If you want to see how I'm building a portfolio with real money, I think I've invested, no joke, close to 10 grand in that portfolio this month. I'm not kidding. If you want to see that, check it out. Link down below, pinned in the comments as well, or go to stassurfest.com/Patreon. Make sure to join. I'll see you guys there. And with that being said, have a great rest of your Sunday. Go Birds.